If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard in Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. All right, gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Zone. Today, joining me is three-time Paradise Alley Tag Team Champions and, in my prediction, future NAWA Tag Team Champions, the House of Payne. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Doing all right. How's everything with you, brother?
Excellent. So you guys have a big show coming up, December 19th, live on FITE Jingle Brawl. Tell me how this came about.
Yeah, Hakim, you're the one with the story for that one.
Me? Oh, I gotta tell the story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got in contact with Capone way before this event was even thought about. It was we got in contact with him, finding out that he was bringing the company back, and he liked what he saw. He gave us a contract. We signed up. And next thing you know, he announced his first show, which is Jingle Brawl in Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Ocean Center. And he was like, House of Payne, you're on it.
That's amazing.
Like, right.
Yeah. It was definitely something that we weren't expecting. Not the Ocean Center. Like, we heard of a new company starting up. We're thinking normal size venue that we're used to, and then it was announced the Ocean Center. Like, that's the same building that Hulk Hogan turned and joined the NWO. Like, the building has history. It's an old WCW building. So for us, that was kind of, a cool thing for us to do in our career.
Right.
Take a big gamble during a pandemic in an arena.
How many people? This building holds literally thousands of people. I did a little bit of research on the building, and there is a big sign outside promoting the event, which is, that's pretty awesome in itself. Were you guys familiar with the NAWA prior to hooking up with Capone? You did?
Yeah, I was. I have followed it back in the day a little bit, and then I did more research on it. And when we came to PAPW, Big Daddy talked about NAWA a lot. So when the name came back up again, it was just like, oh, because I said to him, I was like, yo, this was a company that you said you was with. He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that was the initial thing for me to even try to get with the company, was because about how Big Daddy talked so great about the company. So I was like, oh, okay, let me see what this is about.
It's a great company. They had, have you ever seen the TV show from back in the day? There's a bunch of clips on YouTube. I used to actually get the TV show, and it's a who's who of professional wrestling has worked there. Everybody from, obviously, Capone has talked about it, Hercules Hernandez, Lightning Kid worked there, Sean Waltman. Yeah. Guys like the Brooklyn Brawler. Yeah, Taz, when he was the Tasmaniac.
Sid was on the roster.
Sid. Yep. And then, obviously Bruno Sammartino was a gigantic part of it as a commissioner, and that's when Big Daddy took over. So it's they are able to pack quite a bit of people in based on the rosters that he's put together in the past. So how you guys feel about that?
No, go ahead.
We feel great about it. I mean, this is something that we've been trying to do for at least the past 3 years. We've been, as you saw online, we was trying to get with NWA or Impact, MLW. Like we've been going hard at these companies and no budge had happened. Right. So when this NWA came about, we was like, this is our opportunity to get on a national level now, because we've been hungry for this national explosion for quite some time now, and we was like, we got to jump on this opportunity so we could get.
Right. It was definitely time for us to reach the next level. There's a lot of guys that we've been around that are on that next level, and we have yet to take that step. So it gets frustrating trying to contact these companies and get a word in and see these people and have them tell us, "Oh yeah, we know you guys. Oh, we've heard about you guys," and then nothing.
Right.
So now that we have the NAWA coming up, and they value our work, they value us as just men. So I mean, it was an easy choice to make.
I think that's awesome, and really the best of luck to you guys. And I really hope it works out, because it's I don't know, man. I'm really looking forward to it, but it's the weirdest time for a promotion to start up and running again. But there has been a few shows. Obviously, you guys worked the few PAPW shows, and they went pretty smoothly. Then unfortunately things are shutting down again here in the state. Yeah. So that's a real drag, because it's like we don't get to get out again. So probably another few months. I know I'm stuck at home working until about April. So that's what they told us. So that's just a drag. How you guys been handling that at all? The staying home?
Well, we've been at work.
Yeah, the whole time, from the time it started. Like I haven't had no rest. Like I've been out there. Good. The whole time, so it's a gift and a curse,
right?
It's a gift and a curse, but I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm maintaining, and I'm able to, feed myself and my family. So I should keep that.
Yeah. During that first round of the pandemic, I was out of work for like 2 or 3 weeks, and like more like 2 or 3 months. That third week, I was going stir crazy. Like I was like, I get the heck out of this house. But now that the second wave is coming around, I've been at work a little bit more. So, like Hakim said, it's good because we're able to feed our family and we're able to put, have some money with us and stuff. So it's gonna suck because we haven't got any shows done.
Yeah, that's the most important part. I mean, seriously, the work and being able to take care and the family, the kids and stuff. Yep. I'm stuck. I mean, I am working from home, but I'm also doing school during the day with the little guy. So I'm trying to, here's my desk, here's my son's desk. I'm trying to bounce back and forth between talking to clients on the phone and helping him with his schoolwork. It's not easy.
We definitely got to give any parents out there that are doing that right now during this pandemic. Right. They deserve a big shout out, because it's not easy. Like you said, it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah. How you guys keeping busy? You guys are still working with Paradise Alley, obviously. How are you guys down at the training center working out with those guys still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get down there, whenever we can, as much as we can. Try to, be down there. That's always going to be home.
Right.
That place has been so good to us, and all the guys in charge, Roma, Mario, Big Steve, Perez, everybody, they've been treating us really good. So that'll always be home for us. And been training, and just Hakim's been in the gym every day.
I saw some of your workout videos, man. You're kind of scaring me a little bit with some of that heavy lifting. I would not be fucking with you right now. So some of that shit you're doing.
I got to give it to him. He's definitely one of the hardest working guys when it comes to being in that gym and being in shape. Hakim puts all the work in. I need to do more work.
But look at this, man. I'm gaining. I gained 40 since working from home. I gained 40 pounds. And I'm not happy, but it hasn't stopped me from eating either. So, my shirts just get a little bigger. That's it. So,
that's all. Yeah.
That's all. So, what's going on with the new gear? I see you guys just bought new gear, and it's pretty rocking gear. What came about the wardrobe change?
Well, we've been hearing a lot throughout the years of, you guys need to change your gear. You guys need new gear. That used to be something that they would tell us why we weren't getting booked in more places. Oh, your gear doesn't look right. Oh, Nick, pull up your pants. Your pants are always falling. So we, came up with the idea of, all right, let's do something different. Let's step outside of what they normally see us as. And we use the NAWA thing as this is the new us. People are gonna see a new version of what the House of Pain is.
Right.
So then we, started sketching what makes sense for our gear. We're the House of Pain. So we, bricks. We're building up ourselves. We're building up our career.
Right.
We're taking it to the next level. So that's how I thought of it, like thinking about it.
So this whole Jingle Brawl, you guys are going into the NAWA. You got new gear. You guys are taking part in. Did I read this right? You guys are taking part in a 3-way tag match. Is that right? Against the Slambinos. Is that how it's going to work? Or I was kind of confused at how it was worded. Or kayfabe.
I'm still kind of in the dark about it. I don't know exactly what.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't really received it, and we at this point it doesn't matter to us. We are so ready to go and so ready to prove that this is our time, that it doesn't matter who, and that's not even like a wrestler thing. That's just, it's honest. Like we don't know who it is, but whoever it is, I feel bad because
I mean, since you want to name those teams, Slambinos and the Dirty Blondes.
That's the other team. Yep.
What is the Samoans? I mean, it really doesn't matter because the House of Pain is there to wreck it, no matter who they put in front of us. It's not a catchphrase. We are tag team wrestling, and we're going to prove it December 19th at the Ocean Center.
You guys have proven to be one of the greatest tag teams in the Northeast right now, and the fact that the NWA or Impact, somebody hasn't picked you up, but it's really awesome that Capone has taken that chance and putting you on his show. And then this TV show starts shortly after that, right? On FITE.
I believe in January.
Yeah, in January. So
I think.
So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be. I watch so much wrestling as it is. It's just going to be another hour or so added into my week that I got to try to keep up with. Try to remind myself to watch. So, what have you guys been up to wrestling wise outside? Seeing that it's you guys work just the 2 shows for Paradise Alley that I'm aware of, right? Were you guys able to travel anywhere to work?
We also did was it 2 New World shows we did this year?
Two New World shows, yeah.
Shows we did this year.
Oh, in Rhode Island? Is that Rhode Island? Okay.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. How did those go? I haven't had a chance to check that out, but I have seen some clips on. Thanks to Don Kincaid, he posts stuff on Facebook, clips on page, and they look like they're fun shows.
Yeah, the last one we did was great. Like it was a good crowd, and that crowd came to see the House of Pain go against the Hoods in that TLC match. They came for that. They came out for that. It was a good show, good match too. It was a good show, good match.
Very cold. Yeah, that's what I remember. Very cold.
I can imagine. When was that?
That was September, October.
And it was an outdoor show.
It's an outdoor event, but like he has a very nice setup. The ring set, the atmosphere of being there is really good, but it was freezing. He just couldn't. Like we had hoodies on up until we came out to the curtain, took the hoodies off, went out, came back, put the hoodie back on.
What's so funny about that damn show? It was cold that day, and then the following weekend it was hot as hell.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we had a couple like Indian summer weekends where it's just blazing. Like today, it was like we've had a couple 60-degree weather days this week, and then all of a sudden, like 5-6 o'clock, it just drops down to like 20, and it's just like, what the hell just happened in like the last couple hours? But that's all the fun of living in New England, right? I mean, so it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the weather.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what else have you guys? What are you guys keeping up on these days? As far as you guys working, obviously you can't work too many shows. What are you guys watching as far as your wrestling goes?
I watch all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's, like you said, it's hard. So much, but for WWE wise, I lean more towards NXT. Is definitely something. Just, it's a more old school kind of thing.
Yep.
Raw and SmackDown, I just like I like what they're doing with The Fiend and Randy Orton. I think that's really interesting. That's really cool. Adding Alexa Bliss in there is also a good one. And the whole Roman Reigns storyline on SmackDown is really good. Those promos, and people used to give Roman a lot about his promos, but he's definitely stepped up a lot. It's really good.
I'm one of those guys because I, as a baby face, and I've said this, I think in the previous episode I recorded with Big Daddy just a couple days ago, you know, I hated him as a baby face, the way they were shoving him down our throats and trying to get him over as a baby face, but then turn him heel, it's perfect. Like that's what he's
the Rock. The same as the Rock.
Right. I even said it like years ago when they were shoving it. I was like, he just looks like a baby or a heel. He'd be a perfect heel. Just turn him, and it works. And and he's showing that. The match he had with was it Jey Uso was, I thought it was drawn a little too long, but I thought it was a really decent match. Other than the fact that the length was just way too long for that pay-per-view.
Also, them being able to talk during the matches and us being able to hear that dynamic between them in the match really adds another thing that we don't get with fans there.
Right.
So I like that they added that in there. No, we're not getting the fans. They're piping the sound in now, but being able to hear that dialogue is very, very interesting. It's a new way to look at things.
All right. Well, let me ask your opinion on this. What do you guys think of the Thunderdome ultimately? Be honest. You could say whatever you want.
I mean, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you think so?
Better than nothing.
It is. I think that the piped-in crowd noise, sometimes it's okay, but then the certain chants, obviously you can tell that they were just created for that particular moment. You know what I mean? Like, and it just doesn't give you 100% organic feel to it. But I mean, like you said, it's better than nothing than just dead silence. Like do you still watch Impact at all?
I've been in and out of.
Yeah, I've been paying attention to more of Impact myself.
I think it's an underrated product, to be honest with you. But the thing with that is it's the in between stuff is just like the wrestler's court or the wrestle house stuff. It's just, that's like what kind of just makes me like, oh God, but the actual action and the angles are pretty good, other than the like the fake reality show type stuff that they do. But I think it's a really good product otherwise, and they just don't get enough attention because they're not really the cable channel that they're on. Nobody gets.
I think that's going to turn around now with the whole AEW angle that just happened.
Yeah, I think that's gonna. I think that's gonna help them. A lot. I watch it on Twitch every week, or I stream it somewhere else. I think what do you think of the AEW Impact not merger, but the working relationship? I heard it's not going to last too long. I've actually read that it's a way to get Don Callis into AEW because his contract is expiring in a couple months. He's going to be managing Kenny Omega. So that's what I read that today. So
what's going on?
Yeah, so that's no wonder he's been popping up every so often on their TV show. So I think that's actually really cool. And I always liked him as a heel manager whether he was in ECW or when he was in WWF back in the 90s. So I think that he was, he's a really great commentator depending on who his partner is too. I don't think he works well with Josh Matthews, but when you say him and Matt Stryker work together, I think it's a phenomenal team. So
definitely. I like the whole AEW thing with them together. I think it's gonna be good, and I think it's good that it's not gonna be very long either, because I think both of them, AEW's on a really good track right now. Some of their matches are a bit too long,
right?
And there's a lot of guys doing the same moves, but that's just indie stuff in general. Not that they're an indie, but you see that a lot on the indies as well. But Impact, I think the guys and girls at Impact are working really, really hard. Like they putting on good people. Like you said, like I think the last pay-per-view I watched, somebody died at the end of it.
Johnny Bravo.
I watched, and I was just like, what am I watching? Like at this point, it's like that's a little hokey for me.
That's exactly, because I'm sure you guys have heard me say it. It's like I like more realism when I'm watching my professional wrestling, and I understand people call it the soap opera for men, but it's like stuff like that is just way too much like a soap opera, and it's just too much for me, But I just like the actual realism, like it's hokey, like you said.
Yeah, like New Japan for me is New Japan will always inspire me when I'm feeling a little like, oh man, this is crazy, is get frustrated. I watch New Japan and it kind of like this is what it should be. this is how things are. Like their realism is great, and I think AEW does that very well to an extent as well.
With New Japan, it's like you look at that, and to me, that's what professional wrestling is supposed to be. It's presented as sport. And it's not like a bunch of in between matches. It's not like a bunch of random running around playing or goofiness. It's just they're hyping up the next match, and that's like I said, presented as sport. I've been watching the New Japan Strong every Friday night, and it's just like that's been one of my favorite weekly programs on New Japan World. So,
yeah, it's definitely presented a lot better.
Yeah. Do you guys watch any like hardcore stuff? I'm not particularly into it, but I was watching an event actually before I called you guys. I was watching the Game Changer event. I guess there was an event for free on YouTube tonight, and I decided to give it a try.
I don't know about I'll watch it if it's live, but I'm like it's too much for me. That's not wrestling. Right. If you like it, you like it. Everybody likes something different, and no knock on it. The guys that do it are tough as hell. Like, give them all the credit. Just that's not my thing.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea either.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying too. It's like I heard about the event. It was free on YouTube, so I decided to give it a try. But I have seen some of their events, but some of that stuff gets really over the top. You know what I mean? And it's just, I'm surprised. Like, I mean, I guess people have died, but I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you.
Did you see the David Arquette documentary?
Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was a really good documentary, and I think that anybody that has not seen it should definitely go out and see it. So, or find it. It's really good. And I feel bad for the guy, to be honest with you. Like, it wasn't his doing. It was basically he was booked into that. So, but people got to shit on him for that decision, and supposedly him ruining. I know you guys. I think it was Nick. Did you see? Did you post about the Sweet Daddy Siki movie the other day?
Yes, I did. That was a great documentary.
That was really good.
Just couldn't believe it. Like I said, I heard of him before, and I knew of him, but didn't know his story. And his story is it's inspirational. It's amazing. Like looking for roadkill to eat.
Yes, I saw that.
He had no money, and he had the KKK sitting ringside for matches. Like in that era, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There was so much to take in and so much to appreciate about him. I don't know why he's not talked about more or praised more. Definitely, if anybody has,
I was Edge trainer, right?
Edge, Christian, Trish Stratus, like these are things that I'm like. He trained all these people and nobody mentioned them. He's never brought up.
If I remember correctly, in the movie, he said that Christian still owes him money because he never paid him for training. I laughed my ass off when I heard that. Speaking of that movie, I actually booked the director. He's going to be coming on December 21st.
Oh, so, that is awesome. I can't wait for that one. Like he did a great job with that.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him. So we just finalized it yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to him coming on, talking Sweet Daddy Siki. And he was definitely a guy that, needed a movie made about him because he does have a very inspirational story. And I want to find some of his records, man. So,
like it was nuts. He lived so many lives. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely. And then also just not to get off thing, but shout outs to you, Rick, for doing this show. Like you're getting a lot of great guys on here, a lot of great talent, and you helping us out. We appreciate that, man. Like you and Kate, that whole crew of guys, man. Y'all really making this pandemic good for us, keeping us relevant, keeping us out there.
I really appreciate that. I'm really trying to work hard and improve this and make it move forward and trying to get as many guys, especially local guys, on here so I can, help give them exposure and all that stuff, because it's a lot of fun, but sometimes it's just nerve-wracking. So trying to get everything together. I'm sure you guys know, trying to set stuff up,
But no, it's cool. Like, even supporting the shows and coming out to the shows, like you work hard. Everybody works hard for their money, and you always support us. You're always putting stuff on for us and doing stuff for us. and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's very much appreciated, man.
I appreciate that. I can't wait for shows to start off again. So then I could just sit there, spend money, buy stuff, buy merch. One of my things is, and I had this discussion, I think last week or the week before on the show, is just you got to support independent wrestling. You got to support the wrestlers. You got to support the companies. You got to support the foundation of professional wrestling, which is independent wrestling, because you will not have professional wrestling without it. It's the backbone of the entire industry. You know, it's you got, whether it be buying merch, buying a ticket, buying a stream, whatever. So that's why I'm out there, and I've been a big supporter of independent wrestling since I discovered it in like 1988 or whatever. So I always thought it was So awesome. I grew up with, I think the first indie TV show I ever watched was like the Oldies ICW or IWCCW, which is
International World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, and I remember watching that as a kid going nuts, like
yeah. So something about that show stuck with me, as it was
the theme itself would stick with you.
Right. But it was like it was like it was different because it wasn't glossy. You know what I mean? Like you go in, WWF puts the lights on so you can see how many people are in the crowd. It's dim, and not everybody was necessarily great. I got to see guys before they were big. Tommy Dreamer, Taz, obviously. What's his other face? Tom Brandy, before he was like in WWF. So all watching that every week. So it was just.
Remember Big Steamboat?
Of course. Of course. I've been trying to get in touch with him, actually, to try to come on the show. So, awesome. Yeah, I finally, got in touch with King Mike Kalua, if you remember him from there. Oh, do you guys remember? Yeah, so I'm hoping to get him involved at some point soon. So, I don't know.
You've been out here working during this pandemic, getting guys.
I can't tell you how many times I send emails a day, about 20, 30 emails a day, trying to get people on. So,
no, but that's good. That's we need it. We need the entertainment, and it's good for you, man.
I mean, professional wrestling during the pandemic has not stopped. Baseball did for a good half a season. Football was delayed. Finally, just saw our first boxing match last week.
Fight is what we saw.
That was quite a fiasco in itself, but every other sport pretty much stopped. Professional wrestling was there from the beginning, or it never stopped. It might have been altered quite a bit with their empty arenas, showing highlights in the beginning, but they found a way to work around it. And took WWE a few tries to figure out their formula, whether it be first it was the empty arenas, then they had plants, and now the Thunderdome. So I'm hoping that it just progresses in this time during this pandemic, because professional wrestling, man, it's always been there for me. You know what I mean? It's like I've been through bad times in life, and I've always watched wrestling. I've never really gone away. So,
yep. In my house, it's the same thing. I tell my girl all the time. Like, even when we first got together, I said, "Listen, wrestling comes first. No, you don't want to hear that, but it comes. Don't make me choose, because you're not gonna like the answer." It's the one thing that's always going to be here. It doesn't disappoint. Well, maybe it disappoints me, but it never hurts me. It's never going to leave me. It's always here. It's part of me.
Right.
And in business, that's what we do. We adapt, no matter what. Pandemic, whatever, we adapted. There was no stop. The show must go on. That's something that we all kind of live by in this business. And professional wrestling, like you said, hasn't taken a break. It hasn't stopped. Our job is to entertain, and those hours, 2 hours, distract us from all the craziness that life is doing, and we've been doing a really good job at it.
Right.
So, big up to the whole wrestling community and the fans that continue to watch, continue to support. Empty arenas and watching and streaming is really good. It's really,
right. Now, I read recently, I guess, through Facebook, I believe, or maybe it was Twitter, that Paradise Alley is going to be doing some streaming stuff. Are they going to be doing matches or forming an online show?
Right now, yes. We're gonna try to tape the King of Paradise tournament.
That's right. That's what I saw. Yep.
We're gonna tape that, and with no fans. So it's gonna be something different. We're gonna try to, we're doing the tapings on January 9th.
Okay.
So and that's an exclusive. No one knows that. You got it.
Right.
All right.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, something like that. So no, yeah, January 9th we'll be taping. I don't know if it's gonna be live. We might tape and then just air them throughout the week, so that way, the fans have something to keep up with and watch. And it's going to be different. It's going to be something that we, trying for the first time, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. And
I'm sure I will. Yeah, and like I said, anytime there's more wrestling, anything extra to stream, I'm right there. Especially with you guys, that's my favorite promotion right now as far as wrestling goes in the Northeast. There's a lot of other promotions that come through here, whether it be Northeast or Test Strength or some other ones, but I don't focus on those as much. You know what I mean? Northeast is starting to get that big fight or big crowd type feel. You know what I mean? It's changed over the years on what it was when I started going to wrestling when I was younger. But there's just something more organic about Paradise Alley that I really, really enjoy. So, and I made a lot of friends while going to the shows there, over the years. So,
well, no, thank you. We definitely appreciate that, man. We it's a lot of work that goes into trying to make sure that things are right and that you guys enjoy what you see.
Yeah.
We're trying to get new faces in there and trying to not have things be the same old stuff. Even, people are tired of seeing us as tag champs. I mean, we're the best, so it's hard to beat us. Got to find a good team out there.
Yeah,
but
that's not our fault.
I do remember, and this is one of the Annex shows. You're probably going to laugh when I guess it was the Dusty finish where everybody thought you guys lost the belts. Triv and Nugster were sitting in front of me, and when that 3 count hit, I jumped out of my seat and literally yelled, "What the fuck?" in the arena. And then I was just like, you couldn't see, like, I was mad. And I don't get that involved all the time, but I was like, I couldn't believe it. So everybody, they actually covered it on the podcast the following week and saying they mentioned how pissed off I was when they thought that you guys had lost the titles. So
I appreciate that. At least somebody still wants I kind of think that's pretty good for us to get, somebody who knows, what's going on, what we're doing. To get you to react like that is, that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing out there.
Exactly, and that's
he wasn't the only ones that got fooled too. I mean, even Mario thought it was over too. Everybody
really.
They didn't know what was going on either.
I'm not saying those kids didn't deserve it, but I'm just saying, not against you guys, So I couldn't believe the way it happened. I was in total shock. That doesn't, like I said, I do get that invested in the product sometimes where I do get shocked, and that's what it's supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Business has changed so much that doesn't happen a lot with people. You know what I mean? Being involved.
That's what makes Nick and I different. We always want to put you on that roller coaster ride when we step
right.
Every time.
That's the best part about professional wrestling. Seriously, it's like, I hate to say it, but WWE has become too predictable that when the title's going to change before you go out there. You know what I mean? But I didn't expect Kenny Omega to win the title on Wednesday. I was pretty convinced that it wasn't going to happen. It's like basically, I guess the speculation was that Moxley's going to Japan, but apparently that's not true. So they were like, no, he's not going to lose the title because he's not going to show up in Japan. But he lost the title anyways. So, and I thought it was a really good match. That was like a perfect length match. I know I said before about that one, the Roman and Uso match that was way too long for a pay-per-view. I thought that was a better length. And it was better paced for that, for that length as well.
You know what match that I felt was real long? This happened a couple of months ago. This is when FTR won the tag titles. That match was just dragging and dragging.
Okay. I think I know the match you're talking about because I think I gave that one a -5 stars. And I'm a huge FTR, I'm a huge FTR guy. That's like one of my favorite teams today on the. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like that whole pay-per-view as a whole, though, was not delivering.
Yeah.
It was a really, really rough pay-per-view. It was getting, obviously the IWC and the AEW marks, like they love anything that comes on the screen. But I sit there and I've been watching wrestling close to 40 years, so I know I could basically break down what's good, what's bad. I thought that was a pretty wretched show, and there was a couple moments. I don't remember exactly right now. I'd have to go back and look at what happened, but I remember that match being quite disappointed in that match, especially seeing the FTR were involved.
Yeah, me and Hakim watched that match together, and we were just sitting here the whole show another match. What is going on? It was midnight. The event went on.
Well, that's the other thing is they put on 6-hour pay-per-views too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And even within the pandemic, they still do that. It's in the empty arena, it just doesn't deliver the same way. But I mean, whatever.
You gotta leave us wanting more. I mean,
yeah,
I understand you got to get everybody on, and they work hard for this stuff. So I mean, yeah, and it's good because we know a lot of guys on AEW. So it's good to see our friends on, but it's too long, too much. Even the Dark episodes now. Dark was great when it first started because it was an hour and it was cool.
Right. And now it's 2.5 hours every week now.
Matches. And I was like, what is going on?
I don't know what made them start doing that because it's all of a sudden they just started announcing. Usually it was 3 to 4 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going. Then there was 8 matches. I'm like, what? Why is this 8 matches? And then there was like you said, 15 matches. I'm just but they're mostly squash matches too. That's the other thing. A good portion of them. I haven't really watched as much Dark as of late because it's
too much.
It's not like a transition. It's not like a show that benefits Dynamite. You know what I mean? It's just basically
either, right? It's just matches.
Exactly. It's just basically like watching an old episode of WCW Worldwide. Except for it's almost 2.5 hours to 3 hours long. You know what I mean? It's of squash matches and maybe one main event. So but I got to give it to them. There's been some really great talent that they're getting exposure because of AEW. I mean, look at Danny Limelight has been all over TV lately between AEW, Primetime, and what's the other one? New Japan Strong. He's been popping up all over the place. So they're bringing guys in and giving them exposure. So that's always a positive thing.
For sure. That's something that they do very well is put out guys that that are on the indie scenes that are really, popular. And it's good. That's always good for everybody.
Right.
And like we said, we know the guys that are there. So that's always great to see them get that opportunity, get that shot. It's just, split it up into 2 shows. Don't give me 13 matches in one show or 16 matches in one show.
Right.
Too much.
They've been talking about adding another show for TNT ever since they extended the contract. I mean, why not take some of those matches and put that towards that show? And
that would be great. Put it on another thing, and then you can still do Dark on YouTube. I think the YouTube avenue is very good as well because all it does is help build up their brand.
Right. It's the free content, on YouTube that get people other places. You know what I mean? It's just be I've seen this on here, and now I'll watch the show on cable or whatever. It might not. Yeah. They might not check it out because I know there's plenty of people out there that don't necessarily even watch cable. They'll just watch, YouTube and streaming. So it'll bring you there. I mean, we're living in that age where it's not a lot of people even care about having cable. They can just find everything they want on the internet somewhere.
Yep, I'm one of those people. I don't have no internet, no cable. I just have the internet with Wi-Fi and everything streaming.
I'd love to, but it's the family that wants they want the cable. I mean, I watch everything. I'm sitting here watching. I don't even watch WWE Network anymore, other than pay-per-views. I keep it other than to watch the pay-per-views. But I mean, there's I watch stuff on the High Spots Network, IWTV, and then and FITE. You know what I mean? And then everything else is YouTube or what my regular TV shows. I never use the actual cable, very rarely, but it's the rest of the family that is. But we're living in that age where nobody's going to be having cable, and give it another 5 or so years. and everything. And then, there's a lot of people that are really gearing towards that, especially wrestling companies. And there's a lot of YouTube series that not necessarily wrestling, but dramas and horror shows. I had the Maestro in WCW on the other day, and he's acting in a TV series about vampires of some sort. And it's I guess there's 4 seasons up on YouTube, so it's YouTube exclusive. Yeah, so it seems pretty interesting. So
yeah, that's the thing of the future, man. All these streaming is going to be the future for sure.
Yeah, and it helps give even people that have a dream exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So use those hashtags. Very important.
Yeah.
To try to get people up there. Yeah. So tell me, seeing that we're talking about AEW, Doc, they're bringing in some of the greatest names of the indies here. What about you guys? You guys looking to pop up in AEW Dark sometime?
We would love to. We would definitely love to. I mean, this new chapter that we're trying to do, that's definitely a goal. We want to go any and everywhere that we possibly can. I mean, we definitely have a focus on NAWA because there's been a lot of what if with NAWA. Oh, this and that. Every company started somewhere.
Right.
Just like you know what AEW was going to be 2-3 years ago. So, I mean, maybe this blows up and maybe we, after our contract is up with them, you'll see us on Dark. That's hopefully what we do is this gets us more exposure and more out there so you can see us on those platforms and we can show the world that we are tag team wrestling. That is the goal.
Right. So I'm trying to think.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I think with the NAWA, I hate to bring it up, but it seems like they've gone out of business a couple times. Now I know that they've been a pretty solid product overall, though. Do you think that this is going to be the time where it just lasts and it's going to be just a really good force in professional wrestling? Because there's indie wrestling has blown up. It's become a very valuable form of wrestling. It's been because people are really looking for alternatives. That there was like a very dark period for about 16, 17 years after WWE swallowed every other wrestling organization. And so probably 2-3 years ago, that's when other wrestling organizations started to get TV and come around, and people just said, hey, there's alternatives out there.
Yep.
Do you think the NAWA could be that force? Or be another force?
I definitely think it could be. I mean, I know Tony Capone is putting a lot of everything that he has into this. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you're gonna ask us, we're gonna do our best to make sure that it succeeds. Just like we do anywhere we go. Anywhere we go, it doesn't matter. Oh, people say negative things, but even Paradise Alley, people said negative things about, and it turned around to be one of the places that everybody wants to come and work. So. That's the idea with NAWA. We're going to put our all into trying to draw people like yourself and everybody else to come in and make the company last. That's what we do. Being on FITE TV is another avenue. Independent wrestling as a whole is on the rise. So hopefully, this could be that.
All right.
Well, not to sound conceited or anything, but everywhere Nick and I have been, we elevated that promotion. Just like Nick just said a little while ago, they say blah. Once we get there and we set the company on fire, then everybody and their mother is trying to get in.
Yeah.
When we first initially came to Paradise Alley, because us being from New York, a lot of people didn't know what was going on. They said, "Oh well, it's not House of Glory, or it's not Evolve, or it's not this." That's their mindset. Their mindset was already on these already established companies. And the only thing that really made them that much established is because they was getting the names from Impact, Ring of Honor, etc.
Right.
So your local talent, instead of them trying to be somebody, their whole aspect is, well, I want to wrestle there because Amazing Red is there, and maybe I could get a chance to wrestle him. They don't think about building a self up.
Right.
Nick and I, from day one, when we was put together as a tag team, was always trying to build ourselves up. We wasn't trying to be the next person or the next Zach. We wasn't trying to do that. We wasn't, you know, talking about, oh, we need to go against this team and that team. It was like, bring whatever. We was building our brand up. And then it gets to a point, you know, when we do that, it gets a little stale. Because it's like, okay, you keep throwing the same teams at us. And we already done proving them well. You know, we elevate everybody's game, or whether they beginners or they've been out there for a while, or they haven't been wrestling for a while. They get in a ring with us, they look like they've been competing for years. So what's going to wind up happening is, Rick, and I'm gonna predict it right now. Our lives is going to change after the 19th. I guarantee that our lives is going to change.
I hope so.
and it's gonna be, you know, everybody that had their little doubts about NAWA, this, that, and the third, is all going to change, because we done went through this already. Every company, if it was one of those companies everybody was kind of leery about, so well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Well, we didn't have no problem with it. We went in there, did our thing, got paid, did what we had to do. So
yeah, I mean, anytime we're there with a tag team, whether they have experience or not, if they have more experience, we're going to learn something, which is good for us. But even on the flip side of that, being with a team that's not experienced is a test for us, because then how good of a team are we? If we can take that team and make them look like they know what they're doing. So we've always taken that with open arms. And then I would always tell Hakim, and like when the guys would say, oh, well, I don't want to wrestle there because they don't have any stars. All right, well, talent isn't transmitted through sweat. Just because you rub up against the dude doesn't mean you're going to be just as good as them.
Right.
So you have to work on your craft and go against those other teams and go against the guys that nobody knows and maybe build something of yourself, like Hakim was saying.
It's funny you said that. You don't want to go there because there's no stars. I'm no wrestler, but, you know, I'm just a guy with a podcast. But I'm also a gigantic fan. But I just go to wrestling shows. The only reason why I didn't know one wrestler that was on the Paradise Alley shows when I first started going. I knew Paul Roma and Mario Mancini from television. That's it. Mm-hmm. I ran into Roma in a gas station, and he invited me down. I've been to every show since in the last 2 years. So, yeah. So I think I missed one. So, you know, and I ran into Big Daddy, who I had known for years prior. I hadn't seen in almost 20 years probably. So, you know, I got reforming our friendship, so to say, you know. So it's you just got to give those promotions a chance. Give those give wrestling a chance, so to speak. You'll end up,
it's funny, and every time we, especially when there's new faces that see us.
Yeah. And
it's always, whoa, yeah, why y'all not in Impact? Why y'all not in AEW? Why y'all not this? We never have gotten any backlash saying that we shouldn't be there. It's always saying, why you not there? Why you not there? It's always that.
I'm surprised, honestly, that you guys haven't gone to the NWA. I mean, that's a promotion. And I know you guys probably see me post about it anytime they asked who should we be looking at. And I always tagged you guys and Ref Bill every time. Because
I mean, it's definitely a place we want to work. We really want to go there. With everything going on now, everything is different with contracts and all that. Like, we actually have contracts signed to NAWA. So I don't want to get away from that, but eventually we want to end up in these places. Right? But we hear it constantly. You guys are good. It's never you guys suck. You guys are good. You guys can move. How come you're not? Some people tell us, "Oh, you should go to NXT." It's like, I wish I could just call them up and go, "Hey, I should come to NXT because this fan told me I should." Not that easy. But I mean, again, for us, we, like you do, you actually tag us and put us out there, which we appreciate. Sometimes we get certain fans that give somebody else because they give them more attention. They give them more, they pay them more attention. So it is what it is. We just need more people like you to keep tagging us and putting that name out there for us to get up there. Because one thing NWA told us was, well, we don't know who you guys are. People have to, vouch for you, or people have to want to see you. Okay, cool. How am I supposed to just make people tell you to like
Right.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even spoke
basically what he was saying
himself.
is you're not clicked up. That's basically what he was saying.
That's it. That's how I feel. But I got to tell you, man, they're looking to relaunch, so pretty soon. So, hope someday soon. You know what I mean? Because that's a promotion.
We are with the NAWA now.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
He's willing to work with all companies.
Yes,
I see that. Yeah.
So it's if the situation is right, we might pop up on a NWA taping or Impact taping or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, our lives going to change come December 19th.
I am definitely looking forward to that. I will be sitting here Saturday night with a case of beer, ready to watch a show.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe though Hakim doesn't drink. I mean, he doesn't know how to have fun.
Hakim doesn't have parties. Yeah, he doesn't know how to have fun. I'm happy I'm not the only one who agrees. I've been to a bar with this guy, and he'll look at the bartender straight in the face and go, "Can I have pineapple juice?" I give him the dirtiest look. I want to turn my back on him, quite honestly.
He doesn't do like the Bob Backlund and just sit there and drink milk in the bar.
He might as well. He might. Asking for pineapple juice is the same exact thing.
I tell you, man. Before we hit it, tell me who you guys are looking forward to. What's going on the scene? Like, who do you guys have your eyes on as far as tag teams that you guys want to face on the scene? NAWA or your local indie?
Well, NAWA for sure, the Dirty Blondes. I think that would be something that would be very interesting for everyone to see. Like that's some. There's also a team. They've actually been on the United show Primetime. The 4 Minutes of Heat.
Oh, Ricky Gibson, and I talked to Ricky about coming on recently. So him and what's it, Eddie Pearl, right? Is his tag team part? Those guys. Supposedly, I'm working on getting those guys on. So nice guy.
Yeah, they're a really good team. I would definitely like to get in there with them. There's so many teams. Bear Country is another team that I feel like would be great to see us against. Main Event is another team. Jay Lion.
Yeah, heard of them. Where do I?
They're from House of Glory.
Oh, okay. Yep. So they're kind of
Jay Lion and Midas Black.
Okay, that's where I know. Yep.
They're another good team. Hakim, any teams you got?
I would like to work with Von Erichs from MLW.
That'd be sick. Yeah. that'd be awesome.
That would be good. Let me see. It's funny. I gotta put their names out there, and it's only because it's a New York thing.
I know where you're going.
We haven't faced them. I mean, we crossed paths, but just never did it, and that's Proud and Powerful, and also Private Party as well.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Sorry, it slipped my brain for a second. So yeah, I think Private Party is they're a pretty damn good team. Not that Proud and Powerful isn't though. Those guys are but those guys have been around a long time through Impact and what they're doing now. So those guys are they haven't won the AEW tag titles yet. I'm surprised that they haven't gone after.
I think it's soon to happen. I think they're going to be that next wave to revolutionize that tag division.
You're saying it's too soon, but I mean, whatchamacallit, FTR won them like after a month of being in the company. So
that's true. But I think that was to rush them versus the Young Bucks, though.
Yeah,
people wanted to, before it gets to a point where we don't want to see it anymore. They had to do that.
Yeah. Let me ask you. I didn't ask you before when we were talking about the weekly wrestling or the world of wrestling. What do you think of the Impact AEW partnership? Did I ask you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did ask you. Okay, so I don't know.
But I mean, definitely good for business.
I think it's good for business. I don't think it's. Oh, I did say that right because it's not going to last long. That's right.
Yeah.
I do want to recommend a book. We're just talking about the exposure of independent wrestling. I've been reading this book here. It's called Too Sweet, the independent wrestling revolution. You guys might really dig it. Seriously, it's a very. It starts around the time of like All In, and then moves forward to up until now. So, and a little bit of the history of indie wrestling. So, anything else you guys want to?
On a book too. I'm working on a book.
Hakim tells me he's writing a book.
Should I be scared?
Well, listen. Well, listen.
The stories in that book, Jesus. Oh man.
Listen, it all depends on what's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. On stuff that I put in the book and stuff that I won't put.
You guys, the way you guys are hyping up the show, I'm looking forward to it more now than I was prior. Honestly, I'm like really, because I mean, I've always been a, supporter of, especially wrestling out of the Northeast and groups like the NAWA. I used to have some of the old videotapes too. The one, the Slam Jam one that's mentioned with Bruno. Was it Bruno? Yeah, I used to have that on VHS back in the day. Still have a VCR. I should try to find that.
Yeah, I still got my VCR. You need to find it so I can watch it.
Oh, I still my kids now are buying VHS tapes from like the Goodwill every time we go there. So mostly old Scooby-Doo cartoons, but Is there anything else you guys want to offer before we leave?
I don't know. Support indie wrestling, man. For everybody who's watching or who's gonna watch it, all the promotions, it don't matter, and even like in a word, some promotions don't like this promotion, don't like it. All that is silly. It's goofy. Just go out and support it, man. With all the guys that are in it, work hard. They're putting sacrifices out there. They sacrifice time with their family and their body. Just support it and support the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast for sure.
Thank you.
And support the House of Payne. All right.
Absolutely.
Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Get a T-shirt. Okay, so December 19th, Ocean Center, FITE TV, pay-per-view. Make sure you watch it. You never know what's going to happen. We definitely going to be in the building, and you know what happens when we're in the building.
I want to go back to what you said about the Pro Wrestling Tees. Listen, I love all our fans. I appreciate all our fans. You can like it all you want. I don't have any problems with that, but buy it too. Don't just like it, please buy it.
They just had a big freaking 40% off sale. I mean, yeah, man.
No, but seriously, support all these guys. Get anybody's merch if you can. I'm trying to think of what else. Also, Paradise Alley, keep the lookout. Things are coming. Things are gonna be, shooting out soon. We haven't forgot about y'all. It's coming.
How about your social media?
I'm on Instagram most of the time at TNPayne19. Nick Payne _HOP. Sorry, that's the Instagram, and then the House of Payne _official on Instagram and Twitter.
You can catch me on Instagram, Hater Killer. Facebook, Hakim Ali. Twitter, Hakim Ali. And you can also catch us on the NAWA website. You can if you click on our page, it goes straight to our Facebook link. And then you can just click on our link and it goes to our Facebook page. So if you forget all of that, go to the NAWA website and click on House of Payne and you'll get to both our social medias.
And to the fans out there that want to see us, you want to see us everywhere, tag those companies, tag those promotions. Let them know you want to see us. Let them know that they need the House of Payne to come out there and destroy some things for a little while.
That's right. Thank you, future NAWA Tag Team Champions.
Thank you again, Rick, man. Much appreciated.
Hang up.